guys, why don't you have a seat for a hot second? Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It's time to get started. We're going to begin with words from Psalm 150. Hallelujah. Here we go. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Kol hanshama tehallel. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Oh, I think with this many people, we can say have a little more Shabbat Shalominess than that. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
That's fantastic. That's more like it. It is wonderful to have you all here on this sunny, beautiful, beautiful morning in North Carolina, where the pollen count is too high. We have an opportunity to actually be together for Shabbat. And Shabbat is, in our Jewish tradition, a reminder of the story of creation, where we're told that God created for 6 days, then on the seventh day, God rested. And we, created in God's image, are taught to actually rest like God did, to allow ourselves time to rest, to refresh, and to renew our souls. And we do that by being together, we do that by praying, we do that by learning, we do that by just letting the outside world be the outside world. Now, your phones have this thing called airplane mode, but it's actually Shabbat mode. They borrowed it from us, and then they designed their own little emblem. And you can quickly let the outside world be the outside world and just give yourself the gift of being in a space for a period of time that's just dedicated to being together and to singing and to joyful worship. Our prayer books are found under our seats. They're blue. And if you have a different color prayer book, let us know, because that's been there for too long. And some members of our community got that joke.
Although it was blue too.
It was blue too, yeah.
It was a different blue.
Different blue. And also, you'll notice that we're going to have words on the screens. And the words on the screens match the words in the book. And we do that because we want to make sure that everyone can participate and everyone can follow along and everyone can be a part of the service. If you don't read Hebrew, there is no judgment here. There's transliteration, and if you want to try your hat at sort of following along in the Hebrew that written in Latin letters, by all means, please do. If you don't know the tunes, just listen for a little while and then start to hum in, and you can pick it up as well. But this is a fully participatory service where we get to be led by Jonah and Ruby, and we get to participate in this service all together. And there's going to be lots of times where we're going to ask you to participate in lots of different ways. So the first way that we're going to ask you to participate is actually by saying Shabbat Shalom. You practice. I heard you say it. It was actually to say Shabbat Shalom to one another, to turn to the north, the south, the east, and the west in all directions, and just to welcome one another into our congregation and to say Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. We welcome as well those who are joining in over Zoom and streaming, and wherever you may be, whether you are in California. I know there's some from California, and I actually heard earlier today that there's some people here from Colorado, my home state. Go Broncos. And it's like sacrilege to say that here. I want to be clear that I might be let go of my position a little later on. And we open our prayer books. Our prayer books are designed to be sort of like every 2 pages is sort of like one really large page. And if you were to open up to page 226, you will see the words of Baruch Hu. And each two pages are really, as I said, they're really one page. So as we do something on one page, we're going to then turn the page to the next reading, or we'll turn the pages. And if you get lost, the pagination is on the screen, and you can find your way. But this first prayer is called Baruch Hu. And it is our call to worship. It is a call to worship to say we have come here, we are ready to pray, we're ready to be together, and we actually rise up from our seats or spiritually, and we take a moment to just center ourselves in this space. So I invite you to rise with the words of Baruch Hu.
Baruch atah Adonai,
Eloheinu melech
haolam, yotzer or uvorei choshech, oseh shalom uvorei et hakol, hameir la'aretz v'ladarim alecha berachamim, uvtuvo mechadesh bechol yom tamid, ma'aseh v'reshit. Ma rabu ma'asecha Adonai, kulam bechochma asita, malaha aretz kinyanecha, titbarach Adonai Eloheinu, al sheva ma'aseh yadecha, ve'al me'orei or she'asita, yifarucha sela, or hadash al Tzion ta'ir, v'nizkeh kulanu mechaira ve'or. Baruch atah Adonai, yotzer hameorot.
Please turn to page 231 on the bottom. Love your neighbor as yourself, you said. And light-blinded we saw that inner and outer worlds are one, as you are one. You spoke and we wrote. We reach for you down the centuries, your light moving before us, as we climbed, fell back, and climbed again, your Sinai of life. Israel, Adonai, Eloheinu, Adonai, Echad.
Adonai Elohecha, v'chol levavcha uv'kol nafshecha, uv'kol meodecha, v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele, asher Anochi metzavecha, hayom al levavecha, v'shinatam levanecha, v'dibartam bam, v'shivtecha bebetecha, uvleftecha b'derech, uvshofpecha uvkumecha, ukshartam leot al yadecha, v'hayu letotavot bein einecha, uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uvisharecha, leman tizkeru, v'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'heditem kedoshim le'Elohehem. Ani Adonai Elohehem, asher seiti etem me'eretz Mitzrayim, lihiot lahem le'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohehem.
We continue on page 239. Emet, there is no place where you are not. Even in the wilderness, there is your word. Emet, that pen strokes of lightning, white fire, black flame, stir soul's passion, guide our sacred way. True and endearing is Torah. Your truth for us is certain and established, now and forevermore. Like Moses, Miriam, and all Israel, we sing out and rejoice.
Mi hamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nektar ba'kodesh, norah tehilot Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed. Tzur Yisrael kuma be'ezrat Yisrael, ufedechinu mecha Yehuda v'Yisrael. Go aleinu Adonai tzvaot shemo kedosh Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael.
Adonai sifatai tifta ufi agita hilateha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Hasdei Avot Ve'imahot, Umevi Gila Lifnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer, Umoshiach Umagen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Abraham, V'ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mehayeh Hakol atah Rav Lehoshia, Mashiv HaRuach, Umorid HaGashem, Mehakel Hayim Behesed, Mehayeh Hakol Berachamim Ravim, Somech Nofelim Verofeh Holim, Umatir Asurim, Umechayeh Emnato, Lishenei Afar, Mihamocha Ba'al Gevurot, Umidom Melech, Melech Memit Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah lechochayot zakol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh Hakol.
Nekadesh et shimcha ba'olam, keshem shemakdishim oto bishmei marom, kakatuv al yad neviecha, v'kara ze el ze v'amar.
Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzevaot, Melohol haaretz, Kevodo.
Adir, adirenu Adonai, Adonenu madir shimcha bechol haaretz.
Baruch Kevod Adonai, Mimkomo.
Echad hu Eloheinu, hu avinu, hu makenu, hu moshienu, vehu yashmienu, verachamav le'inei kol chai. Ani Adonai Elohechem.
Yimloch Adonai leolam, Elohai Tzion,
גודלך ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
To all generations we will declare your greatness, and for all eternity proclaim your holiness. Your praise, O God, shall never depart from our lips. Blessed are you, Adonai, the Holy God.
שומרי 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 שבת קוראי שבת ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת קוראי שבת מקדשי שביעי שבת כולם יספרו ויתענגו מטובך שבת ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת והשביעי רצית בו וקידשתו שבת חמדת ימים אותו קראת שבת ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת זכר למעשה וראשית שבת זכר למעשה וראשית שבת ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
We take a moment for silent prayer.
Shalom, peace, is our tradition's greatest prayer. It's a prayer that we absolutely have today, given everything that is going on in our world. A prayer for peace, for ourselves, for our family members, for the community, and of course, worldwide, and particularly in Ukraine. We are coming to a portion of our service which is known as Seder Kriyat Torah, the service for the reading of the Torah. And the part of the service that we're about to undertake has been something that we as Jews have been doing for thousands of years. It stems from, and the idea of it comes from the story of our people's exodus from Egypt, where our tradition tells us that our people had the audacity, we call it chutzpah, to imagine a better place in a promised land and to walk towards that promise step by step, holding hands and journeying together. And our tradition tells us that they stopped at a place called Mount Sinai, and it was at Mount Sinai where our tradition tells us that they received the Torah, the 5 books of Moses, not just as a gift for that generation in the desert, but as a gift for all future generations. And the determination was that in order to ensure that the gift of Torah would last for an eternity, we had to make sure that it was handed down lador vador into the arms of our young people. In other words, it wasn't because of the honors of our ancient ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, and Rachel, and Leah. It wasn't because of our prophets and sages, our cantors, and our rabbis. It is because parents choose, day after day, to make choices that pass the values of the Torah into the arms of their children. And that's what we're doing today. During COVID, and Maya was particularly aware of this in her bat mitzvah, during COVID, we had a very different type of experience. Is that right? Would you say that this is different than the experience that you had? Yeah? Okay, yes. She's nodding her head vigorously. And it was really different. And we couldn't physically pass the Torah from generation to generation in the same kind of way as we did, because we didn't have the generations of family here necessarily. And so what we did in our congregation is that we decided to do sort of a virtual pass. But it was a pass that asked everyone, people's family members and loved ones, to share something that was meaningful, something that was impactful and important about that they wanted to pass on to future generations. And so I want to, we're going to continue. This is one of the few COVID keepers. We don't want to keep almost anything from COVID. This is it, right? A few COVID keepers that we're keeping. And to ask members of Jonah and Ruby's family to come and to say some words of love about what they hope to pass on to them. So, Jonah, you're first. And to do so, I'm going to invite Carolyn Haggerty and Craig, and what I'm going to ask you to do is create a line right over here, right? So Carolyn Haggerty, and Craig and Amy and Toby and Hannah and Naomi Zaidman, and Rona and Robert and Alferi and Alan Fileski, then Shelley and Bruce Tabachman, and Amanda, Jeff, and Maya. So Carolyn first, and then Craig and Amy, Toby, Hannah, and Naomi. You're what? Oh, okay, sorry. No.
Jonah, congratulations. We are so proud of you. Me, the whole family. All the hard work that you've given of yourself for this past year is just truly amazing. We are so proud of you, and I love you.
Oh, Jonah, you were our last. I can't believe we're here. We're so proud of you. And we want you to take from Torah the history and the resilience of the Jewish people.
Ditto.
Jonah, we are so proud of you. You're the last of all of us to be here, and we can't believe we're here. We hope you take with you from this experience your love and our love of family gatherings, togetherness, and our celebrations, our time together. We love you.
Yeah, ditto. Jenna, of course, we're really proud of you. You're doing an awesome. Into the microphone. Hello. We're very proud of you. You're an awesome guy. You're an awesome guy, and take everything you've learned from what you've studied here, your ancestry, from your family, and put your own spin on it, and have a wonderful adulthood. Mazel tov.
Go Duke. Congratulations. We're very proud of you. Your family from the north.
Congratulations.
I remember being right where you are now. It's very cool. Jonah, we pass this Torah to you today, and along with it, I pass you my love of music.
I love Jewish tradition.
And our love of family.
And for Ruby, Diggy Lee Pesikoff, George Johnson, Bobby, Beth, Sophie, and Lily.
This is a day that we have looked forward to, and we are proud of you and thankful that we are here in good health. And we know that you will continue your studies and share your knowledge with people that you love and know. And our Jewish traditions are important to our family and to you. And we know that you will continue to learn and share them with your loved ones too.
Ruby, this day reminds me of when your dad was bar mitzvahed. And the traditions that your grandmother and I have held dear for many years were passed on, and now they're going to you. And we are thrilled to be here and rejoice with you. We love you.
You are a very special person. You have been a gift to all of us. I would like to pass on the gift of Thanksgiving to you, of the times all our family gets together and celebrates. Much love.
I pass down to you my love of food, the Jewish love of food, the importance of a strong community, and my love.
Ruby, I pass down to you my love of community and my old clothes.
Ruby, I pass down the Torah to you with my love of our family and our Jewish traditions.
Ruby, it is an honor to be here with you and to see you do this and to complete this cycle for all of our family. So with that, the honor of our tradition and our history and our family strength, which everyone I think has said, I repeat because I'm proud of you. Love you.
Invite the congregation to please rise. This one. Yes, ma'am. Now? We're waiting for
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
In our tradition, we ask that our bar and bat mitzvah students take a moment also not just to learn the Torah, but actually to teach us Torah as well. And so we are looking forward to lessons from Jonah and Ruby.
In my Torah portion, Parashat Shemini, Aaron's sons, Nadab and Abihu, take a fire pan and incense and make a sacrificial offering to God. However, instead of accepting the sacrifice, God sent forth a fire which consumed and killed Nadab and Abihu. If you're thinking that this punishment is extreme, it is. They were killed for making a mistake. Making matters worse, God then told Aaron and his other sons that they were not allowed to mourn Nadab and Abihu's deaths. If you're thinking not allowing a father and brothers to mourn the death of their loved ones is unfair, you're right. It's completely unfair. As you may imagine, the story of Nadab and Abihu raises many issues that interpreters have struggled with for centuries. Why were the brothers killed for making a mistake? Why wasn't Aaron allowed to mourn the death of his children? Over the years, there have been many claims as to why the brothers were punished. One answer is that the two brothers were punished for offering the wrong kinds of incense or fire. In other words, if you're making an offering to God as a priest, you better follow all the rules in the book of Leviticus that explain every step of making sacrifices. You don't just go out and offer a hot dog or something. Communicating with God is serious business. Another explanation is that Nadab and Abihu were punished because they were ambitiously trying to show up Aaron and Moses. They were being arrogant and showing that they were better than everyone else. Our rabbi said that Nadab and Abihu were punished for being ambitious, but I don't think that's quite right. Ambition isn't a bad thing. There's no problem with being ambitious. The real problem is what you do with ambition. Nadab and Abihu were trying to make themselves more important than Aaron and Moses. They were trying to make themselves become more important than the rest of the Israelites. I think they were punished because their ambition was to raise themselves above everyone else. I think my Torah portion is important because it shows us how important it is to be humble and to show respect to your elders, your community, and to God. We can be ambitious in life, but we are supposed to be kind and caring. A lesson I learned from my Torah portion is that it is important to show respect to everybody. Being ambitious isn't illegal and certainly shouldn't be punished by death. The Torah portion helps me to remember that even though I am a truly awesome and incredible person, I still need to remember to stay humble. Shabbat Shalom.
It's true, you are. For the first Aliyah, I invite forward Stephen and Marcia Zabin. Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bocha borna mikol ha'amim v'not ha'anoinu le'tovato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
Vayivkehu b'nei Aharon Nadav v'Avihu Ish Matato Vayitnu Vahen Ish Vayasimu Aleha Ketoret Vayakrivu Livnei Adonai Eshara Asher Lo Tziva Otam Vatitse Esh Livnei Adonai Vatokal Otam Vayamutu Kidvar Moshe Livnei Adonai Vayomer Moshe El Aharon Hu Asher Diber Adonai Lemor Yikravai Ekadesh Vayal Pnei Kol Ha'am Ekaved Vayidom Aharon.
Hinu melech haolam, asher natolanu Torah emet v'chayei olam. Hinu noten haTorah.
Amen. Now, in our congregation, we say, I want to say, everyone repeat after me. Everyone say Yesher. Say Koach. Put them together, say Yesher Koach. Yesher Koach means keep up the strength. In Charlotte, we say keep pounding. And for all the ways that you have honored Torah and honored Shabbat and honored our community and family, for all the ways that you are a wonderful presence, we say keep up the strength. We are so happy, and we're going to give them a big hug on the way over. For the second Aliyah, Amanda, Jeff, and Maya.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen.
Vayikra Moshe al Mishael ve'el al Tzafan b'nei Uziel dod Aaron vayomer alechem kiru seu et ahehem me b'nei HaKodesh el mihu v'mahana vayikru vayisaum V'hutinotam el mihu l'mahana ka'asher diber Moshe. Vayomer Moshe el Aharon u'lelazar u'litamar v'anav rashehem al tifrahu uvigdehem lo tiframu v'lo tamutu ve'al kol ha'edah yiktsof Uihem kolbei Israel yivku et hasrefan asher saraf Adonai.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah temet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen. You all say Yesher Koach?
All right, Jonah, it is your turn to be called to the Torah as bar mitzvah. Ya'amod Rami Mendel ben Moshe Ephraim ve'ahava Areli ha-bar mitzvah la'aliyah la Torah.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarah.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen.
Umi peta ohel moed lo tetzum pentamutu kishemen mishat Adonai alehem vayatu kivar Moshe vayadaber Adonai el Aharon lemor yain v'zehar al tesh Ata uvanaha itar v'velahem al helmoed v'lo tamutu ukat olam l'dorotehem uhavdil uven hakodesh uven hahol uven hatameh uven hatahor. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch Atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen. And we say out loud, Yesher Koach.
Yesher Koach.
For all the ways that you have honored Torah and Shabbat in our community and all of the learning that you have done, Yesher Koach, and becoming a bar mitzvah in our community, you did a beautiful, beautiful job. Mazel tov.
My Torah portion this morning is Parashat Shemini. In this portion, 2 of Aaron's sons, Nadab and Abihu, go to make a sacrifice to God without being told to. The Torah tells us that their offering was not authorized by God. Therefore, they paid with their lives. The death penalty for an ignorant mistake is extreme. Imagine if your child made a minor mistake and had to pay with their life. Aaron must have been devastated. Then we come to the part that I'm reading about this morning. Moses tells Eleazar and Ithamar, Aaron's remaining sons, to take a meal offering and eat it in the sanctuary. But instead of eating it, Eleazar and Ithamar allowed the offering to burn up. Yet again, Aaron's sons have made a mistake. But because of what happened with Nadab and Abihu, the fear of the mistake is greater. If their brothers died for making a similar mistake, maybe Eleazar and Ithamar should have been more attentive. On the other hand, Eleazar and Ithamar may have not known what to do, or the act of performing the sacrifice was more stressful given to what happened to their brothers. I'm going to ask a quick question, and I want you to raise your hand if this has ever happened to you. Have you ever made food following a recipe, but it didn't turn out as you were expecting? Perhaps the recipe's instructions weren't clear. Perhaps there was a missing ingredient. Perhaps you just left it in the oven too long, even though the instructions could have been clear. When Moses found out about the overly burnt offering, he went to speak with Aaron. Interestingly, Aaron responded in a way that shows kindness and compassion to both Moses and his children. For context, Aaron wasn't always known for responding with kindness. But he also did just have a major event in his life, the death of 2 of his sons. This event could have taught him about the importance of taking responsibility and care for the religious practices of the Jewish tradition, while also trying to teach Eleazar and Ithamar to be the correct way to do things. Aaron realized that his people needed to be taught with kindness and compassion. He needed to teach them to be deliberate and precise. Yelling at his people for doing something wrong would not have helped to teach them, and it would have only made them more stressed. In fact, maybe one of the reasons Eleazar and Ithamar burnt the sacrifice was because the stress of their brothers being killed for doing the wrong thing. We all know that actions have consequences, but what my Torah portion teaches us is that teaching people in a kind, slow, careful way is important. The way we teach affects the way that people learn. The instructions need to be clear. If anyone makes a mistake, and our response is to yell, scream, or hit, people will cower and make more mistakes. If we show compassion and love, it will help you and those you teach. Shabbat Shalom.
For the 4th Aliyah, Stephanie Pesikoff, Justin and Renee Cohen, Diggy and Lee Pesikoff. Please come forward.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bacharanu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen.
Veit hazeh hatanufa, veit shok hatruma, tochelu b'makom tachor ata, uvanecha uvnotecha itach, ki chukha v'chok banecha nitenu. Mizivhei Shalomei B'nei Yisrael.
Asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu, Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. And we say Yasher Koach for honoring Torah and Shabbat today. You give her a big hug and come stand on the other side of Cantor. We practiced the hugs earlier, I want you to know. I'd like to invite forward Bobby and Beth and Sophie and Lily.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen.
Shok hateruma v'hazeh hatnufa al ishei hahalavim yaviu lehanif tenufa lifnei Adonai v'hayalecha ulvanecha itecha lehok olam Kasher tziva Adonai Veit seir hahatat Darosh darash Moshe v'hine soraf Vayiksof Al Elazar v'alitamar Minei acharon Hanotarim lemor Madura lo achaltem et hahatat bimkom hakodesh ki kodesh kodeshim hi vilta natan lachem lasit et avon haidach Lechaper aleichem lifnei Adonai.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. We say Yasher Koach.
Yasher Koach.
Come give her a big hug.
Okay, Ruby, the final aliyah is yours when we call you as a bat mitzvah. Ta'amod Chana Penina bat Reuven Ubeth habat mitzvah la aliyah la Torah.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamivurah.
Baruch Adonai hamvorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai hamivurach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Pain lo huva et dama el hakodesh penima ahol tochlu ota bakodesh katzer tziveti
Vayidaber Aharon el Moshe ein hayom. Hikrivu et hatatam et olatam lifnei Adonai. Vatikrana oti ka'ele ve'ahalti hatat hayom hayitav b'nei Adonai. Vayishma Moshe vayitav be'einav. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. And we say out loud, Yesher Koach, for honoring Torah and Shabbat in our community and all the learning and teaching that you have done. Mazel Tov, a beautiful, beautiful job. Thank you. And I'm going to invite forward, actually in a moment, we're going to have Craig Zaidman and Toby and Hannah and Naomi Zaidman. If you'll come forward and come stand right over here. As we have the Torah out, we take a moment every time the Torah is out and every time that we are in community together to think of those whom we love, those whom we know who are in need of healing, of mind and body and spirit and soul. And we include with the names of our community members whose names will appear on the screen. And also want to invite each and every one of you, if you know someone who's in need of healing, to either say their name out loud or even just silently in your heart. We'll add these names together and pray for them as a community. Baruch atah Adonai, Rofeh Hecholim. Blessed are you, O God, who walks with, who supports, who comforts those in need.
Our words are on page 371.
And let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor haberacha. Those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say,
Please rise as we dress and return the Torah back to the ark. All right, awesome.
Vizot HaTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei b'nei
Yisrael. Api Adonai Beyanoshe. Lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai lai yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 lai. Wait for them to get settled.
Thank you, God, for allowing my friends and family to join me on this special day. I'd like to thank my tutors, teachers, and rabbis who helped me to get here. I'd like to congratulate Ruby and the Pezikov family. You did a great job today, Ruby. I would also like to thank my friends for coming here, and I would like to thank the friends and family who traveled to be here to celebrate with me. Grandma and Grandpa, I'm so appreciative of all the ways that you are here for me and support me. I love having Shabbat dinner together, and Grandma, I'm particularly thankful for the challah French toast. Mimi, you made me the blanket that I sleep with every single night. Thank you for always wrapping me in warmth and love. On this day, I'm especially thinking about my grandfather, Bill Haggerty, who died 2 years ago, but whose love for us is certainly here today. Maya, you are so smart and caring. Thank you for helping me to prepare for my bar mitzvah. Dad, I'd like to thank you for helping me when I need it and for always making me laugh. Together we will find the best buffalo wings in Charlotte and perhaps the world. I love you. Mom, thank you for supporting me and helping me through school and life. You were helpful in nearly every aspect of my life, but most importantly, you have taught me to be kind. Through the ways that you are kind. I love you. Mom and Dad, please join me on the bima.
We'll just clean up here too. It's fine.
I'd like to thank Cantor Mary and Rabbi Knight, and we're grateful to the Pezikov family for getting to share this special day with you. Jonah, you did a wonderful job today. As I think about what my wishes are for you, it feels important to consider our relationship over the past 13 years. And of course, I have a couple of stories that can shed light on that. The first was when you were a toddler. Your father and I were going out of town for the week. You were a child who liked to be held, and I was a mother who loved to hold her babies. For you, that meant you got carried so much that you managed to reach 16 months old without learning to walk. Grandma Marcia and Grandpa Steve were watching you that week, and I will never forget Grandma saying to me before we left, "When you get home, he'll be walking." And of course, when we got home, you were. In her wisdom, she knew how important it was to put you down. The second story happened when you were a little older. You were on a family vacation with your cousins, and you were sleeping in the same condo as your Aunt Amy and Uncle Craig, and Daddy and I were in another building. When you woke up, you started yelling over and over, "Mom, Mommy, Mom!" And your Aunt Amy went in and asked you what was wrong. You paused your yells to calmly explain to her, "When I wake up, I call for Mommy and she comes." And then you resumed yelling for me. As I think about these stories, I realize that sometimes I am so involved in your life that I end up being the last to recognize all that you are capable of. You are my youngest. Each time you reach a milestone I cheered for your sister to reach a few years earlier, I feel proud of you. And there is also a part of me that is acutely aware that as you move forward, it means we are done with that phase. There is no little brother or sister behind you who will be entering middle school or who will be preparing to read from the Torah next. Sometimes this makes letting you go hard. What I know to be true is that parenting is a fine balance between knowing when to let go and recognizing the importance of being there each time your child calls out for you. Today, as I watched you on the bima, I was once again reminded of what you are capable of what happens when I let go and trust in your abilities. You showed up, and just like your sister before you, you shined. You have worked incredibly hard to get here, and we could not be prouder of you. Moving forward, my promise to you is to work hard to give you enough space so that you can grow your wings and fly, and to always be there for you when you call out for me, no matter what. Jonah, I love you.
I forgot to bring up my tissues, but I held it together. So. Jonah, Mazel Tov. Mazel Tov. It's a phrase you'll hear a lot more of today to congratulate you on all you have accomplished. But did you know that Mazel Tov doesn't translate to congratulations? Did you?
No.
No. I hope I'm right, but I think. I Googled it. In Hebrew, Mazel Tov literally means good fortune. 13 years ago, you were born on March 17th, St. Patrick's Day. The nurses in the hospital even rummaged through a box of baby hats that had been knit by volunteers to find the only green one to place on your head and mark the occasion. Pea green. Ever since, you have been quick to remind us that you were born lucky. And to explain a bit more to everybody here today, when you say that you're lucky, you don't mean like, oh, I'm so fortunate. No, you literally mean you have an uncanny ability to possess luck. For instance, when we play board games at home, you usually win. When you're assigned teachers at the beginning of the school year, you seem to always get the ones you wanted. And on a couple of occasions in your life, you were extremely lucky to have narrowly avoided tragic accidents. Even that cute dimple right there on your right cheek that flashes whenever you smile, it's not something you were born with, but rather the unexpected lucky outcome of a faceplant into our staircase as a young child. Perhaps you do get lucky a lot. But I think there's actually something more going on, and I don't even think you know it. You see, Jonah, you possess a quality which is different from luck alone. You have this amazing ability to sort of float through life with ease. It's like watching an Olympic skater who has so much grace, you can hardly tell how much effort is just below the surface. And what's more amazing is that you regularly appreciate the goodness in your life without even trying to be grateful. How many times have we heard you celebrate with your catchphrase, "Let's go," whenever you apparently get lucky? The lesson that I learned from the way in which you choose to receive goodness is, of course, to recognize my own good fortune. We both stand here today, we all stand here today, in good health, surrounded by loving friends and family, and in the safety of a peaceful community. You are right. We are indeed lucky. I pray that you have a life filled with Mazel Tov, good fortune. I pray that even in the tough times, you are able to feel that you are loved and supported. And I pray that your life shall serve as a blessing to those around you who may be in need of some peace. Jonah, thank you for sharing your blessings with me on this very special day and every single day since the day you were born. I see you, I appreciate you, and I love you very much.
Today, I am proud of what I've accomplished to become a bat mitzvah in the Jewish community. Judaism has always been an important part of my life, and I feel lucky to be Jewish. On this day, there are so many people to be thankful for. I would like to thank Cantor Thomas, Rebecca Levy, the tutors who helped me, all the teachers and staff at CJDS, and Mary Ashigroner, who helped prepare me for this day. Thank you, Rabbi Knight, for your patience and guidance with me, and especially helping me edit my speeches. Jonah, mazel tov to you and your whole family. You did an amazing job. I want to thank my extended family and family friends for being here from all over the country to support me. Your presence means the world to me. As you may have heard, we've been living through a global pandemic. Through COVID, I have found that friendships are really important, and I want to thank my friends for being in my life, laughing with me, and helping me get through the school year. Grandma and Grandpa, thank you for spending Shabbat with me. I love seeing you every week for delicious meals and for all the other ways you're in my life. Papa George and Amy, I love spending Thanksgiving with you and every moment I get to see you. Lily, I want to admit that I've borrowed some of your clothes sometimes, but it is just because you're so stylish. I love sharing mochi with you when you braid my hair, when we talk, and when we get to play Just Dance. I hope we get to dance at a lot of celebrations together. I love you. Sophie, as my older and wiser sister, I'm so grateful for the things that you've taught me, like when you remind me to say please and thank you. I love it when I can come into your room late at night and talk to you, and I really appreciate you bringing Owen into our lives. I love you so much, Sophie. Dad, I love spending time with you. You're so much fun, and I always appreciate how much fun you are. Even when I'm mean or grouchy in the mornings, you have a way of making me smile. Your life experiences have taught me so much, and you're a fabulous teacher. I love learning from your deep knowledge. I love you, Dad. Mom, you're always there for me and supporting me through whatever I'm going through. You're smart, kind, positive, and loving. You've helped me to become confident and proud of myself through the ways that you are confident and capable. Thank you for everything that you do every day to help guide me to become an adult. Mom and Dad, I love you. Please join me on the Vima.
They said, "Are you crying already?" I am. I've been crying the whole day. Hi, everyone. Bobby and I would like to thank you all for joining us on this day. Our world is better because each and every one of you are in it. Rabbi Knight, Cantor Mary, and all the Temple Bethel clergy and staff have been wonderful throughout this bat mitzvah process. A big thanks to everyone. Ruby and Jonah may make it look easy, but they have both been preparing for this moment for years. And to the Zaidman family, we thank you for sharing this simcha with us. Jody Para, I would like to give you a special thanks because I would have been lost without your planning guidance. Thank you. Ruby. There are so many things to be grateful for in this world, and one of them is you. Without you, our family would not be complete. Last week, I don't know if you remember, I was a touch sad and a little emotional about this weekend coming up, and I was just feeling, I don't know, just a little off, and you bounced down the hall and you said, "Mom, it's okay. I'll bring the sunshine." And I thought, wow, she must have read my speech, because that's exactly what I say next. I say, you are the ray of sunshine in our daily lives. And more than that, you are the ray of sunshine that the world needs right now. I like to say that you were born happy and wise and caring and kind. These are traits that I know you will always have, and it is my hope that you will share them with our world. You embody many of the wonderful values that Judaism teaches, and I am so proud of you. Congratulations on all the hard work that you've brought to this moment. Daddy and I feel really lucky to have 3 daughters that are so close, not in age, but in spirit. And I know that your bond will continue for a lifetime, and we love you very much.
Mine's the short one. Ruby, your mother has already said so much that I agree with wholeheartedly. You are bright and caring, thoughtful and sensitive, and I am so proud of the hard work that you've put into making today special. You have also put in a lot of hard work every day in many other areas, like your theater courses, your schoolwork, your many friends that you frequently connect with. Your energy and warmth is lovely and contagious. And much of this I would attribute to your love of learning, but also to your elementary school experiences at Charlotte Jewish Day School. Thank you, Mariashi. We want to encourage you to stay kind and curious and remain open to all of the exciting challenges ahead of you. The world truly is a more beautiful place because of your presence in it. And we are proud to stand here with you today and every day. We love you very much.
I invite the congregation to please rise. All right. Before you is the Torah, and the scrolls of the Torah contained inside and at the center of each scroll are the words of Birkat Kohanim, a blessing and a prayer that we have said for thousands of years. And it's a prayer that parents give to their children. At the Cantor Thomas is going to chant each stanza, and then I'm going to translate, and then we're going to all say the words Ken Yehi Ratzon. Let's try to practice that. Ken Yehi Ratzon. Put that together. Say Ken Yehi Ratzon.
Ken Yehi Ratzon.
It means may this be God's prayer, may this be God's blessing. And so, with your hands on Jonah and Ruby, representing the generations of your families and our entire community, we bless you with this threefold benediction.